We're about to complete a great quest. The Holy Grail, Dr. Jones.
Oh, rats.
This is it. Look. The shield is the second marker. We found it.
Indiana Jones is on the quest of a lifetime. But for some adventures, one Jones is not enough.
Dad? Junior? Don't call me that, please.
Follow me! I know the way! A race across 3 continents.
And in this sort of race, there's no silver medal for finishing second.
Hang on, Dad, we're going in!
Into the homeland of the enemy.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Our situation has not improved.
In his search for the Holy Grail.
How dare you kiss me?
Are you crazy? Don't go between them!
Go between them, are you crazy?
Where's my father?
In the belly of that steel beast. Dad! Junior!
You call this archaeology? The quest for the Grail is not archaeology. It's a race against evil.
Germany has declared war on the Jones boys.
Those people are trying to kill us.
I know, Dad!
It's a new experience for me.
Happens to me all the time.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Have the adventure of your life, keeping up with the Joneses.
Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to another movie review. And this review is going to be on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And of course, the film stars Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, Denholm Elliott, Alison Doody, John Rhys-Davies, and Julian Glover. And the film was released in 1989, of course directed by Steven Spielberg. The story was written by George Lucas, screenplay written by Jeffrey Boehm. And this is the sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark, to which, Temple of Doom was a prequel to Raiders. And Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I really enjoyed the film. It's another fun Indiana Jones film, and Spielberg chose to make a more lighthearted film in this because of the controversy and criticism that Temple of Doom, had received because of how dark it was and how violent, it was. So he brought back, several elements from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you have Denholm Elliott return as Marcus Brody, and it was good seeing John Rhys-Davies as Sala again. He ended up returning. And pretty much basically what the film is about is it takes place in 1938. Indiana Jones, of course, played by Harrison Ford, and he ends up searching for his father, Henry Jones Sr., who was played by the late great Sean Connery. And his character, is a Holy Grail scholar. You find out that he has been kidnapped by the Nazis, so Indy is dealing with the Nazis again. And while he's searching for his father, he's on a journey to find the Holy Grail. So pretty much that's basically what the plot to the film is about. But as the film opens, it takes place in 1912, and we see, a teenage Indiana Jones, who of course is played by the late great River Phoenix. And we find out, why, Indy, has the whip, why he has the scar under him, and, why, he's afraid of snakes. With the whip, he tries to get away, a lion from him. How he got the scar under here, he whipped it. And we find out why he's, afraid of snakes is because he fell in a vat of snakes So I thought that was pretty cool to see, the backstory of, a teenage Indiana Jones and, why he's afraid of snakes from what we saw in Raiders. But it was fun. It was good to see River Phoenix play a teenage Indiana Jones. Of course, sadly, River Phoenix, no longer with us. He passed away like 4 years after this film came out. Of course, he was in Stand By Me. He was in Explorers. But River Phoenix was a good actor. The choice of Sean Connery playing Indy's father, Henry James Sr., I thought that was a good choice. Sean Connery made the film more fun to watch. I liked the chemistry between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. Good, portrayal of father and son. I liked how the way they went back and forth with each other, and how Sean Connery, was always calling, Harrison Ford's character Indiana Jones, Junior. But really enjoyed that, with the characters of Indy and, his father played by Sean Connery. Just a lot of good, fun action scenes, especially near the end of the film with the whole tank battle scene, because you have, Indy and Sean Connery and, Brody, in the tank, and just the whole, battle scene there, which I thought was, very good, though it was well shot. Instead of bugs in this film, like you saw in the first two, you have, rats, these rats where both Indy and Alison Doody's character, Elsie, end up, going down and searching for clues on how to search for the Holy Grail. You have, Harrison Ford have, his father, Sean Connery's, character, the journal. But Harrison Ford, is always fun as Indiana Jones. Sean Connery, very good as Henry Jones. Denholm Elliott, it was good to see, him come back. Of course, he's Indy's colleague, and Denholm Elliott ended up returning after Spielberg sought to recapture the tone of Raiders, because, of course, the character didn't appear in Temple of Doom. You have Alison Doody as Elsa Schneider. Her character is an art professor, and of course, Indy's love interest. We find out that she is in league with the Nazis, and she ends up seducing the Joneses because, she slept with Indy, and she also slept with his father. And, it seemed that she was in love more with Indy. But her character was just there. She was the least interesting than, Willie Scott and Marion Ravenwood. Out of the woman, I like, Marion Ravenwood, who's my favorite, and Willie Scott, even though, she brought comedy, Kate Capshaw as Willie Scott brought comedy in Temple of Doom, and she couldn't stop screaming, which, kind of got annoying a little bit in Temple of Doom. But I prefer, those two than Elsa here. Like the character, was just there, least interesting. But the acting from her wasn't bad, in my opinion. She's basically more of a villain than, Willie Scott, Kate Capshaw's character, and Marion Ravenwood, played by Karen Allen. They were, of course, good. The character here of Elsa, like I said, was just pretty much more of a villain. You have Julian Glover, who plays Walter Donovan, who is the main, villain of the film. He's this businessman who sends, Indy and Henry Jones, Sean Connery's character, on their quest for the Holy Grail. And we find out that he's secretly working for the Nazis, and that he wants the Holy Grail also. But the way how his character dies is, he chooses, a cup that he thinks is the Holy Grail. He puts in the water, drinks it, and then he becomes decompositated, and he just turns into, bones. You also have the scene where Indy is trying to get to the Holy Grail, and he has to go through these booby traps, which, to get to the Holy Grail. But Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, fun movie. It's another fun Indiana Jones film. It's fun. It's exciting. I like the idea of the Holy Grail. And Harrison Ford and Sean Connery were both very good. I like the whole chemistry between them, with father and son. But a little bit of trivia here. Harrison Ford did many of his own stunts, like in the other Indiana Jones films. He was the one who actually nominated River Phoenix to play his character as a teenager, because both Harrison Ford and River Phoenix worked on this film called The Mosquito Coast. And River Phoenix explained that he didn't really base his portrayal on the Indy character, but on Harrison Ford, and that he observed Ford out of character before acting his part. And, with the whole, scar under the chin, Harrison Ford ended up getting into a car accident when he was 20, and that's why he has the scar under his chin. And that's how the whole, why a young Indiana Jones cut his own chin. It was because, of course, the whip. And with the rat scene, 2,000 rats were bred for production. Breeding them especially was necessary, as ordinary rats would have been riddled with, of course, a disease. Steven Spielberg went on record as saying that he made this movie for two reasons: to fulfill a 3-movie obligation that he had made with his friend George Lucas, and to atone for the criticism that he received for Temple of Doom, which, Temple of Doom, was more dark and violent. You have a heart being pulled out, and because of all the controversy that was around that of the film. And Spielberg wants to say that this is his favorite of the Indy films. So the original idea of the film was that George Lucas wanted to have the film set in a haunted mansion. And, since Spielberg, finished Poltergeist, he decided that he wanted to do something different. And then George Lucas then came up with the idea of the Holy Grail. And Spielberg then added the idea of a father-son sub-story, which, that sub-story was just very great. But Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, fun movie, really enjoyed it. But check it out if you haven't seen it, but I know a lot of you guys have, seen the Indiana Jones films. But very fun film. But anyways, that's it for my review of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to review the next Indiana Jones film, which is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So until that, I'll see you all later.